Hey y'all, it's Chat with Kat. I'm back with another analysis of one of Lisa Marie's songs. And let me tell you, I am becoming a huge fan of Lisa Marie's music. She's so underrated. I mean, she should have gone so much further with her music. It's hauntingly beautiful. So today we're talking about Soften the Blows. She wrote that in 2012. It's on her Storm and Grace album, the deluxe edition. So the overall theme of this song is life is hard. Need it to be just a little softer. The kicks that life gives you, she knows they're going to keep coming, but she's asking whoever's in charge to just soften them just a bit. She needs a break. So some of the blows that she might be referring to, maybe her childhood trauma of losing her father. We read her memoir, and so we know there was boarding school. There were struggles with drugs. There were that horrible episode with Michael Edwards. Failed relationships, loneliness, public scrutiny, internal battles that she had. There are all kinds of blows, what could be considered blows of her life. Later on, after she wrote this, of course, you know, we lost Benjamin. She lost Benjamin, and I'm going to say we lost him. We all did, but, you know, she really did. And anyway, the whole song kind of reads like a conversation between her and God, the universe, fate, Elvis's spirit, maybe. It's just it's haunting. It's a hauntingly, like she's just kind of like, I give up, I cry, uncle, you know, just can't take it at this pace anymore. So let's get into it. She starts out, when the well has no water to hold. When the well has no water to hold. Dry. Emotionally bankrupt. There's nothing left. When the well has no water to hold. And the wheels come on, when the wheels come off the road. So you're on a path that you're supposed to be on, but the wheels come off and you veer away from what you were supposed to be, where you were supposed to be going. It's chaotic, out of control, maybe. The road of life, the path you're supposed to be following, and, you know, life happens. And we all know that. I mean, we've all had our own blows where we got derailed at some point in life. And she says, if these things happen, where do we go? Now what? When everything collapses, you tried to stay the course. Now what? Wow. The imagery that she uses is powerful. A well has no water to hold. You know, the well with water. Water is the fluid of life. You know, we have to have water to survive. And there's just nothing left. She says, when we bury the embers that glow, the embers, the life that's still a little spark there, and you bury it, then what? So that spark of life, hope, passion is still there. It's not fully extinguished. We bury that, and the seeds that we planted won't grow like we were told. If you do this, this, and this, you're going to have a successful life. If you get in there and you get your education and you work hard, you're going to have a successful life. If you do this, that, and the other, you're going to have a successful marriage. You're going to raise your kids and they're going to be wonderful. It all sounds great, doesn't it? The seeds that we planted won't grow like we were told. Tried to do the right things and it's not working out. Boy, I know that. Life doesn't play out that neatly. she says, hey man, what in the hell do we know? Hey man, you know, we thought it was going to work like this, but what do we know? Apparently we're not in control of this. Try all you want, but what control do we actually have? We tell ourselves these lies, but life is unpredictable. She says we strike out and then we strike gold. And I see that as the ebbs and flows of life, you know, the push and the pull. You know how 24 hours can change your life, you know. On one minute you think you're at your lowest low, and then 24 hours later something could change and you have a whole different perspective, and vice versa. It could be on top of the world and all of a sudden you're not. So she says we strike out and then we strike gold. You know, unpredictable. You never know. She goes, whoever is running the show, whoever's in charge of this, because it's sure not me, could you soften the blows? So it's as though she realizes the blows are going to keep coming. You can't do anything about that. But could we just ease up just a little bit? It seems like she's crying for a timeout. I need a break. I need a little rest here. Wow. I love this song. You know, so if she thinks this is all random destiny, you know, she's asking for it to be gentler. But if someone's in control, please ease up on me. I've had it pretty tough. When a bold man is afraid to be bold, a bold man is afraid to be bold. You know, life can beat down even the strongest people. And when you have suffered life's blows, it instills empathy in you. I think that you're more willing to give others a little grace where you're not so judgmental. I've kind of reached that point. You know, I think age, experience, life's blows, you kind of get to where you don't see everything in black and white anymore. So even strong people can be beaten down when the bold man's afraid to be bold. These images. A fish finds water too cold. You know, the fish has to be in the water. That's its natural environment, right? But what if it's too cold? It's intolerable, but he has to be there. Some people find their life like that. I'm here, I have to be here, but dang. And cold. Cold gives connotative meaning to harsh, insensitive, all of those things. So if you are in your natural environment, which we're not in the water, but in our natural lives, and it's harsh and it's cold and, you know, but it is your lot in life, where do you go? When the liar finds truth must be told. I thought that was particularly interesting. And does she really mean liar? Or does she mean someone who's been putting on a mask for the world? Who, my cat, she thinks she wants attention every time I come in here. You put on a public face. I'm just trying to think of different ways that she might be talking about this, but truth always makes a way to the surface, you know. You have to face reality. You can pretend everything's fine and all that, but eventually you get tired of pretending. You just have to face reality. So when the liar finds the truth must be told, truth will out you. The whole song is kind of a resignation of this is life. You know, when you're little and you got your whole life ahead of you, and you know, you see the world with the eyes of wonderment and hope, and you're all excited. You know, when you get that first job, you're all excited and everything. And then about 30 years in, you're like, I'm kind of getting tired of this. Okay, next line. And the loner hates to be alone. Who does he hold? You know, if you've made a point of making yourself solitude from the world, and then you find out I'm kind of lonely. Who's there? Loners who choose, I've wrote, loners who choose solitude can even be broken by life's blows. If you try to wall yourself off from life, cushion yourself from people disappointing you and all that, it's still going to find a way to break you, you know? And so then who do you hold? Who do you go to for comfort? So the 3 lines, let me go back to this. The bold man is afraid to be bold. The fish finds water too cold. When the liar finds truth must be told. And the loner hates to be alone. So life is unbearable. You can't fake it anymore. It's unbearable for everybody at times. Can't fake that anymore, and you can't hide from it. You can't hide yourself away in solitude. And then she says, never turn your, these are like these platitudes that you hear as a child. Never turn your back on the ocean. Never talk back. Don't make funny faces. Your face is going to stick like that. I always heard it, your face is going to get stuck like that. These are old parental adages that, you know, we've all heard, and you grow up and find out, that wasn't true. Not only was it not true, it doesn't help in real life. That's advice that doesn't help with these big problems when life does break you. So she's kind of going through these sayings that she grew up with, and they were supposed to be, you know, guidance, but they don't guide in any meaningful way. And then she repeats, soften the blows, that refrain. She sounds, I wrote, she sounds tired, resigned, but still hopeful that it can be eased a little bit. Going forward, what she might be feeling is the weight of the legacy she carries. Being Elvis's daughter was a curse and a blessing at the same time. Maybe she's looking at wanting to protect her children and her grandchildren from the blows of life that life will naturally give, but also maybe even more so because of their bloodline. When I finished analyzing the lyrics, I went back and listened to it another time, and I just don't know why Lisa wasn't more appreciated for her music. And I read in Priscilla's book, this Storm and Grace album, that Lisa was just so hopeful that she would be mentioned or nominated at the Grammys that year, and she was totally ignored, and it came as such a blow, another blow. And wow, I just think she should have had some more recognition for sure. Now, this is my challenge to you. She wrote this in 2012. I want you to go back and listen to it again, only this time think about it with the reflection of Ben's death. Because she could have easily written this after he died, and it fits perfectly. When the seeds that you planted won't grow, let me go to that. She says, we bury the embers that glow. We bury the embers that glow. The promise of a new life, new fire, and we bury it. She says, the seeds that we planted won't grow. Go back and listen to it with Ben in mind. It kind of takes on a whole new sad meaning. Woo, that girl was deep. Anyway, that's my analysis. If you have anything different on any of these lines, please feel free to drop that in the comments. And the next song on the list is going to be Nobody Noticed It. So y'all go take a look at those lyrics and see what you can pick out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.